Welcome to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast. We're so glad that you joined us today as we're talking about the most interesting topics that you want to know about. Today, we get into Bitcoin playing around with the $10,000 level during news break and also what regulation for Bitcoin means. We have a very interesting conversation about BitcoinSV that you absolutely have to hear. Should you invest in it? We're going to tackle that topic today. And in Manspreading, we're going to talk tools. I may not be Tim the Toolman Taylor, but hey, I got some hot takes when it comes to brands of tools. And don't forget to check out beardsandbitcoins.com. This is where you can check out episodes of the podcast and also sign up for your free copy of the 21 best Bitcoin practices. And without further ado, let's check out the episode. Hey guys, welcome to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast, the crypto podcast for the man's man and the ladies that love them. We got another great episode coming for you guys today, along with my co-host Jay Chains, and Jay Chains is dealing with some things right now. I mean, do you want to tell? Obviously, people are watching; they'll be able to tell. But if people are listening, you're gonna have to explain what happened because I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
Dude, I don't even know myself. No one knows me anymore. I've never seen. Dude, it's probably been a good number of years since I've seen that chin, man. Yeah, so the other night, I got this bright idea to start trimming my beard. Sounded like a great idea, right?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yep. Well, I think the last time we talked about trimming beards, I specifically said that I don't. And I don't do it because I'm... Yeah, because I'm not good at it. And so I went to trim the beard. I'm going to New York City tomorrow morning for about a week or so. And so I try to trim it up a little bit, look a little bit nicer, but I got to tell you, man, I screwed it up. If you're watching the video, you can see skin on my face, man.
Yeah, I can see it. And you guys know that I actually nicked mine as well. You can see my little bald spot right there a couple weeks ago. Well, I mean, probably about a week ago now, is growing in a little bit. So I'm here to tell you, Justin, that it does get better. Like, it will grow. The hair there will grow.
It will. You know what's good though? It will grow back, but at least I didn't nick my nuts.
Whoa! Whoa! You didn't draw blood?
I heard someone close to this podcast had a little manscaping accident. Why don't you tell the listeners about that?
Yeah, I mean, warning, guys. This is going to put some things in your head that you may not ever be able to get out. So, if you guys know, we work with Manscaped.com. They are a sponsor of the show, and we love Manscaped. I highly recommend it. Man, they sent us some cool stuff like a pair of underwear that's like super comfortable. They sent me the trimmer. They sent me a little beard shaper thing. They send me all kinds of stuff. I really love it. And, their slogan, though, is it's no nick. Specifically says no nick. So when you're grooming your man area, okay, it's not supposed to nick. Right? Isn't that the idea you got?
That's kind of the point of the whole thing.
Kind of. But I think I just took that like way too literally, and I think I just got a little too aggressive, okay? Got a little too aggressive. I got a little too ballsy, if you will. I was feeling very ballsy. Like, I'm just going to go in there and just whack those weeds,
Woo! Man, ballsy, whacking weeds. What is going on right now?
Okay. I had to clear out the kudzu. And, unfortunately, I went a little too hard in the paint, and, I drew blood. And it was I've drawn blood like maybe a couple times in my life, maybe, but it was gushing.
It is never fun. That's the worst place to nick yourself.
Ooh, I know. And then it burns in the shower. It's just not great. Okay. That's not an STD, by the way. The burn was not an STD burn, but yeah, so it was definitely a very, very interesting week for our body hair.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll recover, bounce back, and keep moving on with some things. So that's the plan, at least. And one of the other things we want to do is thank the show, the sponsor, because before we get into this show, we got to thank our sponsor, because this podcast is brought to you by Monarch Wallet. Make sure you rule your own financial kingdom from the palm of your hand.
That's right, Chains. The team at Monarch is working hard to bring you the one app to access all the best crypto services. They believe in delivering tech, not hype.
Ooh, I like that. And with the universal decentralized Monarch wallet, you can buy, store, spend, and earn crypto. And with Monarch Pay, you can set up and accept recurring crypto payments.
Absolutely. And for more info, guys, make sure you guys check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today. And speaking of today, we've got a great show. We're not going to talk about grooming your man parts the whole entire show. We're done with that. We're moving on and moving forward.
Absolutely. We sure do have a great show for you. Excited to talk about token time. This token, it's growing. Its cult-like following is growing. Controversy around it is growing. So we're excited to talk about that. That's for sure.
And that's right. And then for news break this week, we're going to talk about Bitcoin going above, below, and now above 10K again, and kind of what maybe some reverberating effects of that are.
That will be fun. I look forward to that. And then let's wrap up this show with, I think, one of our new favorite segments, Manspreading.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk tools. And no, we're not talking about the douchebags you see at the gym. We're talking power tools, drills, and saws, homies.
That's right. And you guys make sure to join our email list and get your 21 best Bitcoin practices. You can do that at our website, beardsandbitcoins.com. You can find everything we do there, including episodes. And also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Beards Bitcoins, and also our Beards and Bitcoins YouTube channel, which you can find just by searching Beards and Bitcoins. We're the only show that comes up.
That's it. That's a lot of ref links for our own stuff. I love it.
Oh, you got to.
Shill the podcast.
You got to shill it. If there's one thing you guys should feel comfortable shilling, it's our podcast. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's get into the news. News break. All right, guys. So today for news break, like I mentioned in the intro here, we are going to be talking about Bitcoin getting above 10,000 and then subsequently going below 10,000 and everything that has occurred because of that. And then some stuff that I'm personally seeing with my community when it comes to fear about the price of Bitcoin dropping. So right now at this current moment that we're recording this, I think we're at like $10,150, but we've been as low as 95 and we've been as high as 10,005. So what are your thoughts, Justin?
You know, it's really interesting. It's interesting to see the market go up and down like this. It's nice that we're jumping in the 10K range. I mean, for a while, you know, we were jumping in lower ranges. So if we're going to jump, let's jump higher so our portfolios look a little bit nicer. I am looking for a little stability, and I know that maybe that's kind of what some of the new people coming into the space are looking for is, you know, maybe something that's not so volatile. I know that that's a tall drink to order, if that's the right expression.
I think it is. I'm going to say
yeah. Perfect. Thank you. But you know, that's you get new people coming into the space, man. They're seeing 20+% swings. That's scary.
Yeah, and I think that so if you were to ask me like, okay, what stage of this market cycle are we in? I would say disbelief. If you guys have ever seen the chart that lists all the psychological stages of the bell curve that is crypto investing or really any investing, there's one stage at the very beginning, which is in between a bear market and a bull market. It's called disbelief. And that is where the price starts to rise, but people are having a hard time adjusting to the fact that the market has shifted. And that's where we're at, in my opinion, where we are bullish, we are moving up, but there's still so many people that are just having a hard time believing that. And one of the things that people are having a hard time believing is that new people are coming to the space. It's been so long since we had new people coming in, but I can tell you in my Telegram group, on my YouTube videos, everything that I do, it's really unbelievable how many new people are coming into the space.
Yeah, I mean, but you can see that though. And yeah, maybe it's not mass adoption. We're not even close to that yet, right? But what we are getting is more people seeing hearing, kind of understanding, maybe not getting a full concept of it, but like you said, there's new people coming to the space. I mean, I get text messages from people in my family all the time saying like, "Oh, there was a Bitcoin question on this game show," or on this TV show. They talked about cryptocurrency. It's like it's getting out there. I know that we've got a long way to go, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of new interest, and obviously, once you see the price go up, you get more people in, and we'll see that. So, now I think naturally going from the the 8K up to 10K range, it's bringing more interest, and maybe we'll bring some more investors in from other markets, like the stock market.
Yeah, and that would, one thing that also happened this week, kind of coinciding with that, is that the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that Bitcoin mixing is going to be considered money laundering, and I think that might have had something to do with the price that dropped over the weekend. But I actually think that's ultimately good for Bitcoin. I think for the price, right? Like, we love decentralization, we love libertarian stuff, we love freedom, but at the end of the day, almost all of us are in this on some level for the price. And when you're bringing in regulation, that's going to, I think, tempt more people from the stock world and Wall Street to come on over to Bitcoin. What do you think?
I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, one of the things and one of the principles, and you see this stuff that's posted all the time on social media. It's like, the stronger a government tries to get their fingers around Bitcoin, the faster that it gets out. Like it escapes their grasp. So something will happen if they try to tighten down. Some other country will loosen up, and I think it'll be like a chicken and egg game for a long time, while a lot of governments try to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it is kind of, a game of cat and mouse where, all the people that want to hide this is what it boils down to. People that want to hide their money, people that want to hide their crypto, hide their Bitcoin, they're going to find a way to do it. However, when they do that, you are risking going to jail. You're risking tax evasion. So as long as people that are, going to do that understand that that's what they're doing, like, you don't have this God-given right to be able to hide your money from the government. It's crazy, isn't it?
You should be able to, but no, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you can disagree with it. Like, it sounds like you don't like it, you don't want, but the fact is that we have borders in our countries. Most countries have borders to some extent, and whatever happens within those borders is controlled by a certain group of people called the government. Some places, like Iran, they don't get to choose their leadership. The United States, at least, we get to choose who we're going to have that's going to, at least to some extent, affect those laws. But you don't. Have you ever seen the Family Guy episode where Peter tries to make his own country?
I believe that I have. Yes.
It's hilarious. Like, he comes up with this, I forgot what he called it, but it was like, some little island on his property where he says, "This is my country and I make the rules." And he basically goes to war with the United States. And the whole thing is basically a parody on the fact that a lot of people think that you can just do whatever you want to do in your country, but there's consequences. You can. In America, you have the freedom to do whatever you want, but you are also subject to the laws under the nation that you live in,
Yes. So the name of that episode was E Peterbus Unum.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see if they have the name of his. I don't see. Oh, Pretoria.
Pretoria, that's what it was. Yeah, Pretoria. Yeah, he tried to make his own country, So, I mean, I understand that everybody's on this kick of like decentralization and, freedom. And, we want this utopian society where there's never any centralized organization to anything. But we're so far away from that it's not even funny. Like, if Bitcoin could just open the door, like where we maybe step towards that a little more than we're already at, that maybe we can reverse like kind of the surveillance state that we're living in, then that would be great. But are we going to be able to live in this, utopian socialist society where like everything's free? Like, no, that's not reality.
That to me, like when you start talking like that reminds me of the Back to the Future, when they're in the future, when Biff's got the casinos, after he had gotten the book. Like, that to me is like the lawless world that and maybe this sounds bad to be in the space, but to say this, but like if it shifted to a fully like Bitcoin government hands out all this stuff, like that's what we're going to see is just lawless, reckless people in a crazy society.
Yeah.
So it won't happen in our lifetime, I can tell you that. And which I think it's good. I'd like to see, $100,000 Bitcoin in my lifetime, but.
Well, what I like, well, yeah, I think we would all want to see $100,000 Bitcoin, not just in our lifetime, but hopefully in the next couple of years. But, I think part of it is though, is like as long as with Bitcoin, we're moving in the right direction. To me, that's what's important. We're not going to just overtake it overnight. Yes, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was started by anarchists. It was started by people that buck society trends. Right now, where Bitcoin is, that's not where it's at. People are investing in it because it's money and they see it as something where they can change their lives. They don't see it as nobody says, oh, you know what? I think I want to go to Coinbase and buy some Bitcoin because maybe one day we won't have a government. Nobody does that.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying
that.
No
one's saying it. Nope.
Yeah. So the people in the beginning might have believed that. And look, I once again, like I'm all about decentralization. What I love is options. I want us to have options. I want there to be a decentralized version of YouTube that works, that has people's attention, that actually gets viewers, because what if somebody gets kicked off the centralized version? Like you want to have a place where you feel like you cannot be censored. But, as long as we can be moving towards that, I think that's what's important.
That's the name of the game, right? I think that's what we all need to be striving for. That's what we need to be building for, is getting into that right direction.
Yeah. And I think with so many new people coming into the space, we know they're coming here for the promise of money. And, just kind of wrapping up talking about Bitcoin going above 10,000 and playing this yo-yo game. I think it's important to know that, for those of us that have been in here for a long time, for years, and we understand what cryptocurrency is about, we understand what decentralization is about, we understand the markets to some extent, we have a responsibility to kind of mentor these new people coming in and reassure them. When the price drops 10% in 2 days, like, hey guys, I know this sounds crazy, but this is kind of normal. Like this is something when you're investing in a high risk, asset class like cryptocurrency, like you're going to have days where you're going to go up 30%. You have days where you're going to drop 10%, and I think we have that responsibility to help out those people.
I think that's a great message to send, is just buckle in and hold on.
Yeah. Buckle in. That was my name on my YouTube video yesterday. Buckle in. So, but yeah, guys, like we mentioned earlier, make sure you guys go and visit our website, get the 21 best Bitcoin practices. If you are new to crypto, that will set you on the right course. There's not a single thing on that list that is going to fail you. So you guys can make sure to go to beardsandbitcoins.com to get that.
Check that out. How about a little token time, buddy?
Token time.
Absolutely. Gosh, I love hearing your voice. I love it.
I think you just like when I say token time for some reason.
I love it when you say token time, man. It gets me pumped. Like there's just got a feeling in my body like, you know what? Let's get token. I mean, not, I don't, what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, let's get token. Let's get token time. So today we're going to talk about a token that has a lot of people talking.
A lot of people talking. A lot of people doing some things. A lot of people making some moves.
Absolutely. A lot of people making moves. Very controversial coin. Some people will say, speaking of censorship resistance, some people will say that just by us talking about this coin, that we're doing something wrong.
We're giving them a platform.
And so because we're doing that, hey, we're going to get some hate for sure. But the token of the day is BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision.
There's also another. I won't go there. Anyway, so for the token Bitcoin SV, right at the time that we're talking about this, it's been on a little bit of a crash the last week, down about a little over 10%. So I think it's kind of felt the same effects that most of the market has, but that's not what we want to talk about. We're not here to talk about price. We're not here to talk about supply or volumes.
We're here to talk about Twitch.
Oh, Man. So what's going on with this? Talk to me about this. If you're familiar with crypto Twitter, you've probably seen Famobi in the last couple days said that he was leaving Twitter. He was done. His last tweet, I don't think it aged well, but his last tweet said he was done with Twitter. He was going over to Twitch. And what's happened?
Yeah, so apparently, Twitch is a social media app that's decentralized that is built on the BSV network. And this is what I'll say. I'll say that the app itself, I've clicked around it a little bit, like it seems to work. There is some financial economics that go into it. I think it costs money to like posts, like a fraction, of a penny. It costs fractions of a penny to comment, and it's got its own little economy going on, and it seems to work. And so while we all criticize BitcoinSV, I believe rightly so, because none of us actually believe Craig Wright is Satoshi, who the whole thing is built upon. Fact is, what if the network works? What if Twitch is a success? Like, what if BSV gets legitimized because it's actually having users? I mean, does that change the way people think about it? Would people, if BSV forked tomorrow off of Bitcoin, and I know it's a fork technically from Bitcoin Cash, but let's just say Bitcoin Cash never happened and Bitcoin SV split off, like, would we talk about Bitcoin SV the same way we talk about it now because it's a split off from Bitcoin Cash? The point of what I'm trying to say is this. How different really is Bitcoin Cash from Bitcoin SV?
I mean, that's a good question, and that's kind of a loaded question, only because a lot of people have really strong opinions on it. I think, you see videos of Roger around the world, and yeah, he might be in countries that, if you're here in the States, you're like, oh, that doesn't matter. Whereas what third world countries he is in right now trying to push Bcash. Well, the fact is that, that's working. Good for him. Bitcoin Cash has marketing behind it. BSV, I think the problem is it's not with the project. It's not with the ecosystem. It's not with anything. It's just the founder. It's the credibility of the founder. It's Calvin and Craig and with BSV, how they have brought that about. I think that's the issue with it. I don't think whether or not it forked off Ethereum or whatever, that wouldn't be the issue. I think it's just, who it is and what it is and why it is, I think is the main problem for most people.
Well, if I told you that you could make 10x on it in the next 2 months, would you do it?
I'd start calling you Richard Hart.
That's funny. But I mean, here's what I'm trying to
say. I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's the thing though, like if someone's promising you like 10x returns or whatever kind of crazy returns in like a short amount of time, like I'm not going to fall for that. Like that's one of the other if we're going to talk about responsibilities to new people, you got to warn them.
Well, I think I worded that a little not the way I wanted to come across. What I'm saying is, if we could go in the future and BSV is 10x'd and Bitcoin has only 2x'd, do you morally and ideally in cryptocurrency, would you invest in BSV? If you knew BSV was going to do well, would you invest in it? Do you have a separation when it comes to cryptocurrency between your ideals and your investments? And I think this is a very important question.
It's an important question. You know me. I'm an asset guy. That I get emotional, right? So like, if I have an emotional tie to something, yeah, I won't want to sell it. If I have some emotional hatred towards something, like I won't want to buy it. Now, if I just absolutely knew that something was going to 10 or 100x, of course, yeah, because I like money. I'm not a bozo. So yes, I would invest in it if I absolutely knew what was going to happen.
Right. And so here's the thing. Okay. I've talked about BSV a pretty good amount on my channel. And from an idealist standpoint, I disagree with Craig Wright being Satoshi. I mean, I disagree with a lot of stuff. I disagree with a lot of stuff Calvin Ayre has done. Calvin Ayre has said. I've got a lot of problems with it. Okay. However, if I separate my ideals from my investments, I'm looking at BSV and I'm saying it's up more than any coin over this year in the top 10. I think the top 20. Okay. It is. Can you pull that up and check that out for this year? Maybe like how much it's up, but it's up tremendously okay? We all say Craig and Calvin pump the price, they manipulate the price, and they pump it up. So here's a question. Do you think they're running out of money anytime soon to do that?
Hell no.
Exactly. Okay.
Not
so
even close.
If we believe that those two guys, those two billionaires are pumping up the price, and we agree that they're super mega rich and they're not going to run out of money anytime soon, then why would you not at least throw some shekels at it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's up 100% in the year.
Yeah.
Year to date, somewhere around there. I mean, I started out at...
And Bitcoin's at what, 40%? Right, 30, somewhere around there. 6%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. There. You know, it's performed 3 times better than Bitcoin. So if you're a person and you're an idealist and you're discouraging people from looking into that project because of all the things you morally disagree with, are you doing them a favor? You know, because what if it's a good investment? What if the network works great? What if Twitch becomes a very highly used social media website, which I personally don't think it will, but I do think that it's at least something that people need to give a second look to.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, you know, again, it's pulling out the emotional reservations that you may have because of whatever. I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but I hear you. It's definitely worth another look. I mean, you see an investment like that, and again, like, you know, you talk about Bcash and you talk about BSV, like, you know, these projects have marketing behind them. Like, there's Bitcoin. There's no marketing department for Bitcoin. You know, like, I think that these projects like that, you know, like, and I think maybe this is kind of
that's a great point, Justin. I haven't even thought of that before. That's a fantastic point.
It brings that, you know, to the light that, hey, you know, you've got these people that are pushing this, you know, it's going to be adopted faster. I mean, and again, and like what you said, the ROI that you can get on some of these coins is potentially a lot higher than the ROI on a Bitcoin. I mean, because you can't get a full one unless you're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, we talked about new people coming into space. I'm seeing people in my Telegram group every day that are, you know, that literally are saying things like literally they're saying, oh, I invested in this coin because it's a very low price. You know, like that's where we're at right now, guys, where people are coming into the space. They're looking at prices that they don't even know what they're looking at. They're just looking at letters, you know? And so when people look at Bitcoin and they see it's so expensive, but they look at something like, you know, BitcoinSV or Bitcoin Cash, and they say, well, I could get several of these for the same price I could get Bitcoin. People are going to make that decision. So I'm telling you, we're about to enter into a whole new thing that we haven't been in years, that we forgot what happened.
The do your own research thing. You know, maybe, and that's what maximalism is really kind of hurting the space, right? Because you're getting all these people bullying people into staying away from alts. But I mean, if you're here to make money, man, you should get in alts.
Absolutely.
Those suckers would be popping. I mean, obviously, again, this isn't financial advice. It's exciting, man. When things start popping, like, woo, get ready. You could throw a dart and make it 5x'er.
Oh, yeah. And it happened definitely, for sure. So I guess, you know, and this is token time, as we talked about. But Justin, you want to tell them where they can maybe give us some ideas for some tokens we want to do?
Yeah. As always, you know, you can always hit us on any of our social medias, but the fastest way to get in touch with us is always on Telegram. We've got a Beards and Bitcoins Telegram channel. That link will be posted right below, so you'll see it in the window, also in the show notes. But yeah, swing by, join the Telegram group, come chat with us. We'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff, and this is where we give you the opportunity to talk about the projects that you're into, maybe some projects we should cover for Token Time, and just shoot the breeze in general. Come visit us on Telegram.
Come hit it up. Speaking of shooting the breeze, let's shoot some manspreading. Manspreading.
All right, gentlemen. Like we said before, this isn't gym talk. This isn't gym tan laundry. We're not talking those kind of tools. We're talking power tools. Craftsman, Ryobi, Black & Decker,
Old Milwaukee.
Old Milwaukee.
Wait, is that the beer? Is Old Milwaukee the beer? I think it's just Milwaukee, actually. Just Milwaukee tools, guys.
Hey, you know what? They should do a collaboration where you should get beer and tools in the same box.
Especially with power tools. Like, that sounds very safe.
Yes, I'm into it.
Yeah, I bet you are. So yeah, let's talk about tools. So, what is your go-to brand, Jay?
Well, so my go-to brand I was looking in my toolbox today, and so my go-to brand really depends on the type of tool I'm using, right? So if I'm using a power tool, I use the Black & Decker Matrix series. It's like a drill, but it's got all these different attachments. So I can do sanding, I can sawzall, jigsaw, router, tons of things. It's super great. I also have a lot of the Ryobi battery-powered stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm talking my mower, my blower, my weed whacker, man, all of them, bright green. And I got a ton of the other stuff. But my go-to tool is a chainsaw, baby.
Ooh.
J-Chain's chainsaw.
Yeah.
What's your brand and what's your favorite tool?
Yeah, it's not my Manscaped trimmer right now. I can tell you that. It's not my favorite tool. But I got to go with Ryobi. I love Ryobi. So I used to this might be kind of interesting. I actually used to work for Home Depot. I didn't work directly for Home Depot. I worked for a vending company for Home Depot. And for years, I traveled around. I set up new Home Depot stores. I worked in different sections. Like, we would go in and change all the signs. And if there were new products, we put the new products out. Like, now I think Home Depot does a lot of that themselves. But back before the recession, they hired third-party companies to do it. And it was like a really cool job. And, I had a lot of cool experiences. I've been to almost every Home Depot there is. And we got Ryobi tools. That's what they gave us. So when I first started, I got a brand new toolbox. I had never had any tools before. I mean, I was 21, I think. I got a toolbox, a rolling toolbox. We always had to take it to the airport when we go to different places. And, it was always over. It weighed like 60 pounds. It was crazy. And they gave us Ryobi tools because they were the cheapest. And one of the sections that I worked in was the tool department. So I was messing around with tools. Yeah, setting up displays, figuring out how they all worked. And so just kind of always, I still have my Ryobi drill all these years later. I guess that I would have got that thing in 2005, I think, 2004 and 2005. Still works this very day. So while you're talking about the green, I still have the throwback blue and yellow Ryobi.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah, but my favorite tool, I got to say, I know you like the chainsaw. I know you like the power tool. I like an old traditional hammer. I like a hammer.
Sticking to the basics, man. Like, Jesus had a hammer, right?
Absolutely. To me, the hammer is the manliest tool, right? Because, you got John Henry. He goes into, builds the train tracks. He's got, trying to beat the steam engine that's laying down the train tracks. He's doing it by hand. There's something about doing something by hand, as a man that just makes you feel manly. Well, some people might misinterpret that, but swinging a hammer to me, I mean, there's just something about that when you connect with that nail or that person's head. It's just like boom. I mean,
yeah. Oops.
Did I say that?
Well, so that'll be our poll for this week, ladies and gentlemen. When you're listening to this show, make sure you check the Twitter account, because that's going to be the poll for this week. What is the best tool in your toolbox? And BitBoy, you went with a hammer. I went with a chainsaw. I probably got a better tool than a chainsaw, but I think I had to say chain because it's got my name in it.
I
just had to.
Yeah. We'll probably throw a drill in there, and maybe no, you already got a saw. I don't know what other thing we can throw in there. We'll have to figure out something. A wrench.
Something. Yeah, but feel free to always, if you're like, I like a spark plug puller. That's my favorite tool. Then,
oh man, nothing like pulling the plug.
Ooh. Yikes.
So yeah, but I mean, I like tools. I mean, what tool could you possibly get as a Christmas gift that you wouldn't be like, oh sweet, even if you got 48 screwdrivers, your grandma gives you another one for Christmas, or your grandpa, you just say thank you. Just love this tool.
Always, man. It's like, if there's ladies that listen to this show, if you're ever struggling for a gift for your man, for your dad, brother, son, whatever, get him a tool. Oh my God. You can't be disappointed when you open a tool, even if you have one already, because then that means you get to go to Home Depot and get a new one.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for listening to the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. Each week, we are bringing you news, information, and stories to help spread the awareness about cryptocurrency.
That's right. We are. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on whatever platform you are listening to us on. Comments on the YouTube channel, but reviews on iTunes is really huge for us. So if you guys could do that, that would be fantastic. You help us spread the words spread the word of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin when you share the podcast.
Oh, please share. And don't forget, you can always visit our website. It's beardsandbitcoins.com. Get all the information about the show, links to the past episodes, information about us. Maybe someday we'll have a merch store up there so you can wear your favorite Beard and Bitcoins shirts out. And then, another way to spread the word, because then buddies would be like, yo, that's a cool shirt. That's a cool shirt.
You look good.
Yep. So sub to the show, join the Telegram, come chat with us, see us on Twitter if you're not already, join the polls, answer the questions, because it's fun. That's what we do here is we have fun.
That's right. We are all about the fun here on the show. And it's been a fun week, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Hopefully the price of Bitcoin will be up, and so are your portfolios. Peace.
Adios, amigos.